Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcur YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Also check out our Instagram at Carryandcut and our Patreon at Carryandcut. Really do appreciate all the patron support out there. All the proceeds go directly back into the channel to buy new knives and new equipment to make the quality and the content better for you guys. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Sencut sasche. I think that's how you say it. Sasche, it's kind of a crazy spelling, at least on the name. So S-A-C-H-S-E. Think that's what it's going to be called. Before we get into it though, I want to give a huge shout out to Jimmie Crowe. This is another one of his knives, and I really do appreciate sending his order for us, Jimmy. I know it's been a long time coming. Been super busy, so I'm finally getting cracking on some of these. I know you guys have seen a lot of Jimmy's knives, but this is another one coming out of the Jimmie Crowe custom shop. So we're looking at these were originally a G10 handle, but Jimmie Crowe can't leave anything stock, so he did his thing on this one. He gave us a synthetic Rit dye brown. And I might have to say it came out very nice looking. Kind of reminds me of kind of a little bit of a Hershey chocolate bar, if you will. Really do like the dark brown color of it though. It really makes it pop with that satin blade, and of course the satin liners and the pocket clip. Really does make it for a really good looking knife. And overall quality of this thing is excellent. If you guys aren't aware of Sencut knives, they are like the cheapest subsidiary. I think that's the right word for that, right term, of We and Civivi knife. So it goes, of course, Sencut first, Civivi for like the second mid-tier, and then We knives would be, of course, the premium line of their actual lineup of knives. But it's still all the same family. So, you know, you can expect pretty much the same overall quality, fit and finish, and everything from the Sencut lineup, and for a pretty bang-up price, too. So we're looking at $45.45 for this super nice, like a peel ply texture G10 on it. Of course, I went over that it's originally JG10, then dyed. You're getting a 9CR 18 MFE for the blade steel, which might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's still pretty good. Somewhat stainless, pretty good edge holding, not the best. Pretty good toughness. It's not the worst thing in the world. Definitely not going to say that. There's definitely steels that are under that, but 9CR for this price, not too terrible. And of course, you do get your nice button lock action on this thing, which works incredibly well. Really do like the flipper tab placement, and it is a nice flipper tab. Also, got some nice, useful jimping on the actual flipper tab itself. Great traction on it, and where they actually place the flipper tab, pretty much in line with the pivot. It's not really above the pivot, but it's getting pretty close to that actual line, and just makes for a pretty good overall flipping experience on it. We do have dual thumb studs for deployment, if you will. This actually is a reversible pocket clip, so this could be used right or left hand, and that's a pretty good thing, especially with button lock knives. You could definitely use this thing, left-handed. Just gonna be an index finger on your push. So I'm not a lefty, but I can still get it pretty much every single time. It's not a big deal there either. Then we do have a nice steel deep carry pocket clip, which is very deep carry, pretty much nothing sticking out of your pocket whatsoever. It is just, your fashion, standard, I want to say old-fashioned standard steel bent over clip. But we do have flush mounted screws on there, flush flathead screws, whatever you want to call it. But, of course, it would be cool if they actually sunk this down into the liner. That's like my favorite thing companies do, when they give you a flat, actually flush mounted screws and it's flush mounted clip into the handle liner. That makes a difference to me. I know some people probably don't care, but so it's just nothing's going to be snagging your pocket when you're taking it in and out. And the last thing you want to do is your pocket knife tearing up your pockets at the same time. So we got, what is it, T8 going to be in the pivot here. I think we're looking at T8 in the pivot. Yep, T8 in the pivot. We got T8 in the body screws, which is a very awesome thing. And I was doing a little bit of research on this knife, and it's T6 for the actual, pocket clip. But I was doing some actual research on this knife, and I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a hidden lanyard post in this thing, and you can see where it's supposed to go in the liner. Not too sure if you guys can catch that or not. There it is right there. So I don't know if Jimmy had this apart, and he just, of course he had it apart to take the scales off, but I'm not sure if he just, wanted to do away with the lanyard or not. So Steven, sorry about that, buddy. But this is, that was, a hidden feature on this knife. But, that's something that I'm not, too particularly crazy about, because I'm not into lanyards as much as other people are. But I know that is going to be a deal breaker for some if it's not lanyard approved. But this one should work out pretty well. So we do have a nice high flat grind on this 9CR 18 MFE blade. pretty nice swedge going on here. I'm going to go ahead and call this one definitely going to be like a drop point. You know, when does it differentiate from a spear point to a drop point? Not really sure. Kind of getting in the weeds there. It's definitely, you know, obviously the tip is going to be dropping there, but it's pretty cool. Really do love the overall blade shape and overall look of this thing. I'm pretty sure this knife won best value buy of the year here previously in one of the knife shows, and it definitely shows. You know, it's really cool. I even like the thumb studs. They kind of have like some micro milling lines going on here on them. If you guys can see that, probably not, but there's like some micro milling actually going on right there, and it is pretty cool. Same with the button. It has that same kind of, you know, spiral milling design going on in the actual button lock itself. I don't know if you're going to catch that or not. We do have some nice, pretty useful jimping up here in the actual, you know, top of the blade right there, which gives you a pretty good traction, good choke up point too if you're going to be using it that way. You know, I don't have very big hands, you know, small to medium, not small to medium to large size hands. Wear a large size glove, but it fits, you know, nestles right in there. And the flipper tab's kind of keeping you as a guard right there, keeping your fingers locked in place. You can choke up onto it, you know, it's not going to be too crazy if you need to, you know, do some nice whittling, any other sort of, you know, slashing tasks that you might be doing. So it's not too bad for that, but you are going to be right there as a sharpened edge. And with that being said, your sharpening choil and plunge grind, you know, your choil comes right there where a plunge grind is starting to get thicker. You're definitely going to get a good couple amount of sharpenings in this before you have any sort of crazy, you know, defects. I don't want to call it defects, but you start to get that weird smile going on here where the, you know, the knife gets thicker and it actually gets into the plunge grind. But overall, this thing's great. You know, I can't really complain too much about it, especially for the price. You know, we do have cage ceramic ball bearings in here and the pivot, so the action is just, you know, incredible. If you guys know anything about Civivi button locks, Sencut button locks, they're all going to be the same. You know what you're expecting when you get a Civivi knife, and they've definitely, you know, paved the road for the budget category. You know, I know there's people up and coming now. Kansept is another big one. They're starting to do some really great stuff, even Vosteed. But of course, you know, Sencut, Civivi, they're, you know, they're up there on their ranking, that's for sure. You know, a lot of people, I would hate to think how many millions of knives that they sell, and it's just, you know, it's cool to see. I know a lot of people don't all approve of knives being OEM'd in China, and I can definitely understand that. But it's still a very, you know, high quality cutting tool is what you're getting. And I would not be afraid to put this thing through its paces for the $45 that you're getting it for. You know, not the most hard to use knife in the world, but definitely good enough. Let's do a little spine whack on it. That was 5 pretty moderate taps, and nothing. No failure going on there with a button lock. You know, pretty solid lock up on all of these actual Civivi knives. So if you guys aren't aware of what a button lock does, there's a spring that rides inside of the button right there. When you depress it, of course, it lets go of the tang, and when it snaps back into place, pops right in there. We do have you know, nice stainless steel liners going on in here. They do have some you know, weight cutout relieving, weight relieving holes, I guess you might say, to keep the weight down on this thing. So while we're talking about the weight, well, let's do a measurement first. Let's line it right up there on the edge. Get our roller out. And we are looking at right there at the tip. Okay, we're looking at 7.5 inches in the overall length, just there, maybe a little bit shy, but pretty close to 7.5 inches overall. Blade length is coming in at 3.5 inches. That's what I'm going to go with. Sharpened edge is right at 3.25. So definitely pretty cool. Like to see that overall size. 3.25 inch blade length is going to be my favorite size of knife to carry. It's pretty easy to carry. So let's go ahead and zero out our scale here. Hope you guys are liking the new sticker bomb scale. I think it looks pretty cool. So 3.9 ounces. So you're getting really close to that Goldilocks size of 3, ounce per inch kind of scenario going on. Let's go do some overall size comparisons here. There's, of course, the Sencut Saxi. And then we're looking at the Spyderco Delica, which is going to be a little bit smaller. Well, a good bit smaller, I'm going to say. How about the TRM Neutron 2? So definitely even bigger than that yet. How about the Benchmade Bug Out? That's going to be a pretty close size comparison right there. That's definitely getting right on that territory. And let's go Ontario Rat D2. Rat 2. This is in D2. How about, we'll just get a whole bunch of them. This is the CJRB, shoot, what is this one called? Drawing a blank on this one. You guys stumped me on that one. I can't think what this thing's called. CJRB Hectare, that's what it is, Hectare. So we're getting pretty close on that one. How about the QSP Penguin? And we'll do 2 more after this one. We're just going to get good overall size. Love this one too. Jimmie Crowe Custom Shop QSP Penguin. This thing turned out sweet. Look at that blade finish on that thing. Definitely pretty cool. And then let's do the Spyderco PM2 over there. So now we're getting to bigger territory. And what about the Benchmade 940? That's actually bang up. Look at that. It's like perfect size comparison right there. So that's pretty cool. If you guys know about the 940 and it works out well for you, then the Sencut actually is definitely going to do the trick, at least for, you know, overall size. So I think I pretty much covered all the bases on this thing. If you guys are interested in this, make sure I'll have a link down in the description below. Go check it out. It is still being sold in droves. You know, hundreds of them being sold all the time, I could reckon. So, you know, it's just a testament to how actually good and high quality this knife is, and just how useful it is. So that's going to be pretty cool. So thanks for you guys watching, and I really do appreciate it. Until next time, thanks.